of morality which speaks of the freely chosen kind of behavior, what the will has embraced in the action. As we are talking about moral objects, we now see this principle in Catholic moral theology or in Christian ethics: good intentions are not enough. Good intentions are not enough because there is such a thing as the moral object, the act itself or the object itself that the will has chosen. Even if our intention may be good, but if the chosen behavior is bad, objectively, human action is evil or is not good. Obviously, if this object is not good or is evil, it leads to what we call intrinsically evil acts. Now, we refer to intrinsically evil acts those that radically contradict the good of the person made in God's image. I would cite a few. I already mentioned one. When the act itself, the moral object of which is destroying another person's life, the destruction of another person, or killing him. When a person, for example, is changing the truth and its expression, lying, as when the will has embraced this object, then although the intention, the circumstances may be good, okay, the act itself is considered evil. Okay, the moral object is not the foreseeable consequence of the act. There are those who think that moral object, depends on the consequence of the action, meaning what will happen as the effect of that motion. And this is the error called consequentialism. The moral object can be defined without thinking even of the effects yet, which could add to the gravity or levitude of the action or the responsibility of the person. This moral object, another clarification, is not the consequence, neither is it the proportion between the good and bad effects. This error is also called proportionalism. Okay, now we go to another point, another source of morality, which is the goal of the activity. First and foremost, the goal of the activity or the end what the person is thinking. It could be or remotely, and that's what we call the intention. So, I'm seeing a sign. Are you still? I don't see anyone.
Yes, Father.
Okay, are you still with me?
Yes, Father.
Yes, okay, good, okay. Thank you, Rachel. So I went now to the intention. What is the intention? It's the purpose which is pursued in the action. Okay, the will has embraced the moral object, and as the will tends towards the end, there's a motion there, and that's intention. It is capable all the time. If what we have done is not things that we do normally, moral objects that are okay, in the object is also good, it is capable of being or good, then the human act already good. This is not to mention if a person is not sincere with himself or herself. No. It requires some sincerity to be able to really see my own intention in doing something. We normally, as ordinary human beings, we would want to always say that we have a good intention in doing things, that we always have a good disposition, and we want to protect that all the time. No? But lurking in our hearts, sometimes our intentions that are not right, that have to be rectified. No? So it's a good exercise to ourselves what moves us to do things and to rectify, to correct it. We call that the rectitude of intention. Many things that we do, for example, I think many of people here, I'll just take a look at who are attending. Our professions, yeah, working. All of us are working. And in work, for example, we could have so many intentions. The workplace to do this work for society, my office. I want to earn for my family. Those are very good intentions. Those are noble ones. And the fact of four is very good. However, in our hearts, perhaps, in our souls, there sometimes is that intention, I want to appear better. I have some vain thought. I want vainglory. I want to arrive to become the CEO, or the COO, the chief operating officer, or the child of owner, whatever. And sometimes those intentions will have to be rectified. They have to be placed in the second or third level. Will have to be overcome by intentions that are good. Intentions can direct many actions. The intention, for example, to give glory to God, can put somebody in doing so many things in each day. Can orient even his whole day and his whole life towards his ultimate end. And as I mentioned implicitly earlier, each act can also have many, many intentions. Okay, so with those two, the moral object and the intention, you will already have the goodness or the badness or the evilness of an action. However, there still are some other things that can contribute. They are also sources of morality to the responsibility. It can diminish it or aggravate it of the action, and those are what you call circumstances. Now, mind you, because there are sometimes some circumstances that are so grave that it changes or alters the act itself. And those circumstances may no longer be classified under this third category. The normal parlance or normal word in which we use, circumstances, sometimes could also refer to, in fact, forming part of intentions. For example, I am buying, the father of a family who is trying to purchase the house. In the circumstances, there's a circumstance because his family needs a shelter, obviously. They need to live under a roof. However, he's also thinking another circumstance in this purchase, the circumstance of having, hello, yes, the circumstance of having a house where he could produce drugs, or he could manufacture and sell it later on. So it seems to be a circumstance in our ordinary conversation, ordinary way of putting it, but it has actually formed already part of his intention. And so the purchase of the house, in that sense, clearly is no longer good because the intention is being affected by, quote unquote, a circumstance has changed and has included a very evil one, a very evil intent, which is that of manufacturing illegal substance. Circumstances are termed as secondary elements. Secondary